Okay, so I'm going to be really honest and transparent with you. I don't know if Caitlyn Jenner's candidacy for the California gubernatorial recall election is a serious campaign or a publicity stunt. I actually can't tell. I'm having trouble determining it for myself. And part of the reason I can't tell is that every interview that she does is so bizarre and so disconnected from reality, and it transmits not only no actual understanding of the political issues, but not even an interest in appearing to understand the political issues, that part of me sort of hopes it's merely a publicity campaign, because as a political campaign, it's completely pathetic. It's in theory a pretty interesting candidacy, a Republican trans woman running, supporter of Trump despite endless hostility from Trump to the trans community, very much hostility from Trumpists to the trans community. And in fact, the last time I covered a Caitlyn Jenner interview, many of you were super interested in it. The last clip about one of her interviews got over 1 million views on YouTube. That wasn't even that long ago. So Jenner is interviewed again this weekend, now that the recall is happening in California, interviewed by Judge Jeanine Pirro on Fox News. And I have to tell you, I am again questioning Caitlyn's connection to reality. She seems not even connected to the most fundamental and basic facts on the ground. In this first clip, somehow, I mean, again, the enemy is George Soros. How can it be that it's always George Soros? Let's start with the first clip.
Filling me in on how George Soros has been funding all these lawyers at low ends, very liberal lawyers.
Progressive DAs.
Yes, and you know this field very well. And he keeps funding them to giving as much money as they want, because he figures he's got to change this country from the bottom up. He wants to destroy this country.
So there it is. There is no campaign at which a Republican can't interject the idea that George Soros's evil intentions are being promulgated and perpetuated at every level with his money and lawyers. And of course, we can get into, is this just more thinly veiled anti-Semitism? I don't even think we need to, because we have so many other things to talk about. You might have also noticed that at the bottom of the screen, there was a quote of Caitlyn Jenner saying we have to get tough on crime. Whenever I hear tough on crime, I always ask, which specific crimes are we not tough enough on? And also, when you say get tough, what do you mean? Is it we're not prosecuting enough? Is it that the punishments aren't strict enough? Do we need more jail time? You really have to make them tell us. Tough on crime is meaningless in the abstract. Which crimes and what aspect do we need to be tougher on? Like, if people came to me and then they say, David, sir, what crimes are we not tough enough on? I would say there's not enough effort being put into even policing and prosecuting white collar crime. And then the sentences are also not nearly harsh enough. We are too focused on street crime, including drug related stuff, and not focused enough on white collar crime. Most fraud and embezzlement isn't dealt with harshly enough. Okay, so let's put them in the position of having to tell us exactly which crimes they're talking about. Next clip. Here, Jenner is asked by Jeanine Pirro whether she'd support Trump in 2024 and whether Donald Trump should run.
Should Donald Trump run in 2024?
That's his decision.
Would you support him if he did?
If I was governor of the state of California, I would obviously I would support him.
What do you mean as governor? Would you support him is just the question.
What if you weren't governor?
There you go.
Would you still support him?
Yes, I still would support him. I do not like what's happening in this country right now.
So then what's the point of mentioning if I were governor? Like, it's all just kind of confused and very bizarre. And then let's look at one longer section about, I don't even know what, but it gets into woke and other, buzzwords.
All right. Now, you're considered to be one of our nation's greatest athletes and heroes. And the moment...
Now, is that even true? Yeah, I don't even know that that's true. Is Caitlyn Jenner one of the greatest athletes in American history? That it sounds strange to me. It sounds like maybe Fox News is saying that because Caitlyn Jenner's a Republican, but I don't even know. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Jenner's achievements, but that strikes me as not really even accurate. But that's not the point today. Okay.
Across the finish line in 1976 for that decathlon. Some fan ran across the finish line on the track and gave you a flag. And you waved that flag proudly. And that became a very iconic moment.
Iconic.
Not just then, but throughout history in terms of the Olympics.
Right.
How do you compare today to then?
Boy, has it changed. Remember, that was 1976, our country's bicentennial year. We were just 3 weeks earlier, the biggest 4th of July celebration the country's ever had, celebrating 200 years. Right. I've seen through the years the deterioration of our flag.
The flag has deteriorated. Now, I'm guessing Caitlyn means a deterioration of respect for the flag. That's what I assume Caitlyn means, which I disagree with, but it's all just mumbo jumbo confusion.
Love of country. I still love our country.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we certainly have issues, but I'm a patriot.
Right.
My grandfather fought in World War I. You know, my dad stormed the beaches of Normandy, first boats on. 364 guys in his division, 60 came back alive, you know, to fight for our freedoms. And I've always had that in my heart, patriotism. I love this country. I was very proud to put that flag up. But I've seen it go down to where now we just saw this when the hammer thrower disrespect our flag. And that bothers me.
Let's talk about Gwen Berry. You know, she came in third place, and she thought it was all about her. She said they played the national anthem when they knew that she didn't like it. Did she understand?
She didn't like. Yeah. Okay, all right.
But the United States was her ticket to those Olympics. They were the trials at that point. Should she be allowed to go forward when she's indicated that she...
Now, this is like a hyper-nationalist perspective. You're there because the U.S. has sports and you were able to train in your sport. And so therefore, no action, even a constitutionally protected action, is allowed because it's inherently disrespectful to the fact that you should be only grateful to the United. It's a hyper-nationalist idea, which is accepted without question on places like Fox News.
Pretty much rejects the flag, rejects the national anthem.
You know what? That's a tough question. Why? Because I like individual freedoms. Number one, I think we
now
need to
this is actually the right instinct by Caitlyn Jenner. It's the right instinct.
Protect individual freedoms.
Right.
I think people like that who are going to disrespect our flag to make a political statement and maybe get more hits, you know, on social media, technically have a right to do that.
Technically, look at Jeanine's face. Caitlyn Jenner has the right instinct here, which is I wouldn't even say technically. They have a right to do that. Displaying 10 flags, if that's what you want to do, is a constitutionally protected free speech statement. And turning away from the flag is as well. And they're equal under the law.
But we also have the right, they have the right to deserve the consequences that will come out of their actions.
That's right. And what I wish is that Caitlyn Jenner applied this same analysis to social media and the idea that their free speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences of speech. And as long as it's not a government sanction, the Olympics say these are the rules about how you have to address the flag. They would be able to do that. And then people could react to that by saying, well, I don't like that. I'll boycott the Olympics or whatever. But Caitlyn Jenner's instinct is it's a moment of clarity, and Jeanine doesn't like it.
Are there enough consequences to someone like that?
That's a very excellent question. In so many cases, no. Sometimes we become big stars for that, like getting commercials for Nike and things like that. That bothers me tremendously. This woke, that world that we're living in right now, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how we move forward. We have to move forward and be strong. We have to move forward with love of country.
So there is the conflict where Caitlyn actually has the right instinct about individual freedom, but still has to sort of kowtow to woke is bad and how do we even deal with woke. So a confused interview, an interesting moment of clarity. It's the moment where Jeanine Pirro pushed back the most, but big picture, continued confusion sort of coming out of the pseudo candidacy of Caitlyn Jenner. Let me know what you think. Our sponsor, PureVPN, is having a huge 14th anniversary sale, offering everybody in my audience a subscription for under $3 a month. PureVPN is a service I trust because it has more servers than any other VPN on the market. And it's the only VPN with an always-on third-party audit to verify that your internet activity is not being logged. PureVPN keeps me anonymous online, keeps me safe from hackers, government surveillance, any websites trying to track me. And it lets me also access awesome streaming content, which wouldn't otherwise be available in my country on platforms like Netflix and a whole bunch of others. I can stay logged into PureVPN on up to 10 of my devices at the same time. And it's so easy to use. You click 2 buttons to set it up. You need no computer expertise at all. You can get PureVPN at a huge discount, just $288 a month, when you go to davidpakman.com/VPN. The link is right under this video. And you'll get an additional 14% off when you use the coupon code HBD14.